Are they like stopping? Like if you were to mess up on like one of your pitches, are they stopping, saying cut, and then going, or you just gotta
Come on, man. They're sharks. They're out here to get you.
No ball up top. No ball up top, bro. You turn the ball, you turn the ball.
Hey.
I just gotta get it, I just gotta get it, I just gotta go. I just gotta flip it, watch the money grow. So a little mama, drop it down to the floor. After one night, she gon' be begging for more.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Dear Radio. It's your boy, DearCeej. Again, man, I got my special guest with me, man. I also got the boys with me too, man. I got Dear LeBrank, Dear TKD2, and Dear Michael, man. How y'all doing today, fellas?
Doing well, man. How you feeling?
Boy,
Good.
Doing well, man.
Good.
How are you, man? More importantly, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I can't complain, man. I appreciate you asking.
I always got your back.
Yes, sir. So another episode today, man, is story time, where we have a special guest. Where the story time is all about the guest, man. We want to make sure it's all tailored to the guest. We want the guest to be able to tell their side of the story, tell their piece, if there is a piece to tell, and also being able to get to know them as well. So today, man, we got our boy George here today. George, how you doing today, man?
Better than I deserve, my brother. Much better than I was last week. So
Hey,
it's great.
I hear that, man. George is a former graduate of University of Kentucky, where he earned his degree in marketing, a certificate in engineering, and a certificate in entrepreneurship and innovative thinking, both in 2020. He's also the founder of Cardio, a gamified cardio world. So everybody give it up to my boy George, man.
How you doing, man?
Pleasure to be here, y'all. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Take us away, dear Michael.
Yeah. So, George, we like to start off by introducing the show and introducing our guests, and then we want to go into what our theme is for our show. So, every week we have a word of the week that we have introduced for our show, and this week is ambition. So everybody keep that word in the back of their mind as we're going through the show. We'll wrap up the end of the show with what ambition means to us and why that word is prevalent for us. So, George, just go ahead and introduce yourself again and pretty much a background on you.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, what's up, everybody? My name is Destin George Bell. Some people call me Destin. Some people call me George. Feel me? Whichever one y'all prefer, I answer both. As long as you don't call me bro, it's all good for me. Born and raised in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky to be specific. Went there my whole life, lived there my whole life, graduated, went to UK 2016 through 2020. Like you mentioned, studied marketing. Entrepreneurship's always been a focus of mine. Even when I was younger, I would flip my toys when I was in elementary school. I would sell candy out of my backpack. When I was in middle and high school, cut grass, shovel snow, mulch, clean gutters. I even used to ghostwrite people's essays for school and even the scholarship essays for college. I got a lot of dudes at William C. Parker Scholarship back in the G at UK for sure. I always knew I wanted to be in the business for myself. And so when I graduated, especially given I graduated in the middle of COVID, May 20, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a lot of savings. I didn't have a lot going for myself at the time. And, when you have nothing to lose, that's the best time to risk everything because you ain't got much to risk. And so I got in my car one day. At the time I was still living in Kentucky. I got in my car, drove to Austin. And over the last 4 years, I've been building businesses, whether it be my newest one, my cardio fitness app, owning and renting out real estate in town, starting companies in the content creation space, working with brands like the NBA and Old Spice, building apps and products, working with remote teams, investing in stocks and crypto, just dabbling in a whole bunch of different entrepreneurial and financial pursuits. And, I've been lucky to say that I've been on my own, doing my own little self-employed hustle for the last 4 years. And hopefully, if Lord's willing, I'm going to keep doing this and do it bigger and better every time.
No, that's huge. Yeah, that's amazing. You're doing a lot, especially, being a young man, obviously in America, doing what you got to do. A lot of people don't take the initiative to even dream the way you dream. So it's definitely an honor to be able to have somebody that wants to enhance the world further as you do. So, man, again, just want to give you your flowers and kudos to that. Kind of want to pivot, like, you say you're doing a lot of things with like entrepreneurship. Like what was out of all those, like doing things with the NBA and pivoting to Old Spice and everything else you're creating, even like going to UK, like what was the most challenging part of choosing the ones you wanted to work with?
I think the most challenging part was finding something I really wanted to do and focusing my energy in that. I consider myself a man of many talents. You know, if I mention like all the things I mentioned are all very different. Real estate is a lot different than trading stocks and crypto, which is a lot different than making a fitness app, which is very different than working with remote teams, which is very different from writing essays. I feel like I got a lot of skill sets and a lot of ideas. And the hard part about doing anything is picking the thing to do, especially if you have a lot of options. Because there was a point I wanted to be a real estate mogul and I wanted to buy a whole bunch of property, and I bought my first duplex here in town in 2021. I thought I might want to just keep doing that. And then I was in the middle of COVID, you know, starting to stream and make YouTube videos around NBA 2K. And I started getting these sponsorships from the NBA and McDonald's and Old Spice, and the money was coming in from that. And then there was this huge crypto and stock boom in 21 and 22. And I was making a ton of money doing that as well. And I really enjoyed seeing things, you know, go up and to the right very quickly with very minimal effort. And so it just felt conflicting to me on what I wanted to do. Eventually I settled on, you know, this app. I felt like it was the one that gave me the biggest upside and I enjoyed doing the most. And I felt like it was the most challenging, but also the most rewarding if it succeeded. And you know, the difficult part is with anything is as new opportunities arise, you know, even, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later with my TV appearance, there's been a whole bunch of new opportunities for me to be on TV more. And some of them have been a lot more invested than just showing up for a day on the show that I was on. With some of them, I would have to be off the grid for like a month with the potential to make a lot of money and grow my brand. And it's, you know, even now, something I have to debate on, like, what is the best thing for me moving forward? Is it going to be cardio? Is it going to be something else? And, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult with anything, you know, deciding on what it is that you really want to do and then committing to that thing. Because it's impossible. I won't say impossible, but it's very difficult to do multiple things at an A+ level. A lot of people will do 3 things at a C+ B- level. I want to be an A+ person. So I want to focus on one thing and do it as best as possible. And so, you know, constantly deciding on what that thing is for me and how to execute it on that A+ level.
No, I mean, you hit it on the head. 'Cause I know when we had the idea of doing like the podcast thing, and it's like, man, okay, how do we want to do that? Because, you know, initially my guys, they do streaming, you know, they do a lot of gaming. I do music, fashion, other things. And like, I was like, okay, what makes sense for the team? And obviously at the time, we didn't all collectively have something we wanted to grab and build together, and this kind of just fell into our lap. And then it was just going through the ball of, how does it even work? Like, what kind of combination of stories do we want to put together? It's a lot of people that's doing podcasts, and like, is it over? Is it too late? So just being able to do that, and like you said, want to be A+ at it. It's like now we all kind of locked in on the idea of the things we can build and how transactions have been coming back to us and people being more engaging and everything we're doing. So I can definitely attest to what you're saying and just how difficult it can be, even with us now. I think I just want to ask the group too, like, how do y'all feel about when we first started compared to like when y'all was doing things? Did y'all have like a challenge of, I mean, I fought with Mike, but like, do I really want to do this podcast with him? Like, did y'all ever go through that mindset, or was it just kind of like, okay, well, listen to you else?
That's hilarious.
Real talk.
I mean, I feel like it really depends. I feel like the growth of it makes you want to, you know, keep going. I mean, obviously, me and LeBrant got our own thing, so there's some days we're like, okay, we gotta make sure we do our own thing too. We still do, you know, the Dear Radio thing. So I feel like it's kind of hand in hand, kind of what George said about he wants to be A+ with everything. So, you know, just trying to figure out if we can be like that.
No, that's facts. That's facts. And then to pivot on that, right? Like, so so 2020 was COVID, right? And we didn't experience that because we all graduated like 19. So that was right before. So you graduated in 2020. So you.
I was May 20. I was literally that very first class. Like, I was a month out after.
That is crazy. So what was going through your mind? Like, so you graduated and the world shut down, and it's like, what was the specific things going through your mind at that time? Like, what's about to come next? Like, you know, you have a lot of things going on, but the uncertainty of what's the future like in America, let alone the world, you know, have you pivoted into where you're at now? Like, what was the moment like for you?
Well, it was weird, man. I think it came in phases, right? Because in March, it was really strange because everybody kind of had that feeling like, okay, something's up. So I remember I went to a conference in San Francisco in February. And the whole time I was there, everybody was talking about, you know, hand sanitizer and try to not shake each other's hands as much. We weren't like in the mask phase and stuff like that. But I remember it just felt weird. It was this international conference in San Francisco, and I've been to a lot of conferences, and the energy felt weird. Like, people knew something was up, but they didn't know how to move right. Then I remember a month later, I remember it distinctly. it was like March the 11th, I want to say. Like March the 10th, March the 11th. I was in New Orleans for another conference. And when I was at the conference, I remember we just landed. And the first thing I see when I check into the hotel, because they got a whole bunch of TVs, this is right around the time that March Madness was starting and all that. March Madness got canceled. Mm-hmm. NBA season got suspended. I remember it's like the Pelicans and the Thunder, or the Kings and the Thunder. Somebody was supposed to play, and then the game got pushed back and suspended. They said Rudy Gobert had COVID, and all of a sudden, yeah, bro, that was a crazy day. I remember I was in New Orleans for a college trip, and I was like, yo, some shit's about to pop off, y'all. I remember this thing I said, we got to get in our fun now because we're not going to be here that long. We're going to fly back early, I could tell. And literally, no bullshit, the conference was canceled, and we flew back the next day. And then from that point on, it was like right before spring break. So me, Jake, and a whole bunch of other people, we flew to Miami because we'd already had tickets, but the whole city was shut down. Beaches were shut down, clubs, all that. We couldn't even eat at restaurants. We had to go and grab stuff. And then we got back from spring break, and then everything was just done. Like, there's still people who I never saw again. I left for spring break, and I never saw them again. I still haven't to this day. People I used to see on a daily basis because it just over like that. And so it came in waves. At first, it was kind of fun. Oh, you know what? I didn't want to go to class anyway. Cool, I'm about to graduate anyway. That senioritis had already kicked in, so it just felt like a good time. I was up with the boys, and I'm a nerd, so I was still reading. I was still educating myself. I was still hitting people up on LinkedIn and doing that stuff like that. But I was also doing a little bit of day drinking, playing 2K. And we did that for like the first 2-ish months. Around May, I was thinking, oh, dang, like this is actually going to stick because it's been like 2 or 3 months. And shit's still closed. Like, this is actually like a legit thing. We're not going to just bounce back very quickly. Because then, we remember like H1N1 and other stuff like that. It was a little bit of a fear for a month or two, and then everything went back to normal. This one stuck. And so around that time, I got really into stock trading and all that. So I was making good money, made some bad stock trades, lost all my bread around July. So that's when I started freaking out a little bit. So I'm like, oh, dang, I just lost my whole life savings off a bad day trade. And then at that time, I only had one job offer that was really on the table. And then I ended up not getting that job. So that was the moment I realized, oh, shit, I legitimately don't know what my next path forward is. Like, I have no idea what the next move is. I have no money. I have no job. And I'm about to have to move out of this apartment in like 3 weeks. And so then after that, I found myself sleeping in my dad's attic on an air mattress. I luckily had a connection that got me an internship working for her company. But even that was nothing. It was $8 an hour, 20 hours a week doing blog writing. So I was sleeping on the air mattress, making $8 an hour. Here I was, this highly regarded person at UK. I was flying out, doing all these conferences, starting clubs, having all these entrepreneurial things. I even won an award, most likely to be a Fortune 500 CEO my junior year. And I was sleeping on an air mattress, making $8 an hour. And so I went on like that for about 2 months. And then I just figured, screw it. You know what? At the end of the day, every opportunity, whether it be an obstacle or something amazing, is a chance for me to pivot and create opportunity for myself. So I looked at COVID as an opportunity. So the first things that came to my mind is, well, what things can I make money off of that are happening right now that I won't be able to maximize again? So first thing I thought about was, all these remote companies. Well, I can find a company, start a company around remote work. Or, oh, man, no live sports. There's this big booming of gaming and streaming and whatnot. Let me get in on that. And then the idea of cardio came about because of COVID, because I don't like to run. I was thinking, man, well, what if you could make running a fun social activity without having to be in the same place as other people? And that's where the idea of cardio initially spawned from. So it came in waves. It came off initially, it was this fun things like a snow day. We don't have school. Then you realize, oh, no, this is like a legit thing. We're actually going to be stuck at home for a while, and companies are doing job freezes, and people don't have no money, and I don't know what I'm about to do with my life. And then eventually it flipped, and I was like, all right, well, screw it. This is where the world is now. This is the new way of life. How can I maximize that to be the best situation for me? So came away.
No, that's crazy, because during that time, that was my first year, my second semester of grad school. So, like, I remember when that happened, like, Mike was literally at my crib probably a month or two before. And then everyone was like, oh, okay, we're just going to get 2 weeks off. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. And then literally after that 2 weeks, like, I went back to my parents' crib, like 6 hours away from Tampa. And then I didn't go back to that apartment till like mid-June. It had been like 3.5 months. And so it was just a crazy time. Like, of course, like Florida didn't really believe in it, but still just like running out of like toilet paper and not being able to find toilet paper for like 2 weeks and just going through that. All the processes you would have never thought you would have to go through. It was just a weird, bizarre time.
Right.
But moving forward, for those at home who don't know what the cardio app is, can you explain a little bit more about it? Like, how does it work? I know you kind of gamified it, so can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, man, I would love to. So basically what we're doing with cardio, we're turning your outdoor walking and running into a giant team-based game of turf war. So then capture the flag mixed in with an app like Strava, Garmin, Apple Health, as you're tracking your walking, calories burned, distance, pace, all the things you would typically track. The area of town you move through, you actually would claim for your team. And so that could be, for instance, I see, a jersey in the back. That could be the Minnesota Vikings. That could be your college. That could be your podcast crew. That could be your run club. That could be whatever group you want to be a part of, and you would own it for that team. As you walk or run through areas, you claim it for your group, and people steal it from you by moving through that area after you. So in the case that, let's say, this area is owned by UK, somebody from U of L walked through that same area, they would steal it from you, and the only way to get that area back would be to walk or run through it after them. And so the idea is this game of capture flag, turf war, based around your walking and running routes while still having the functionality of actually being able to track, your health stats such as distance, calories burned, split pace, all the different types of stuff.
Yeah. So how'd you get that idea? Because I would have never thought about that.
Well, like I said, COVID, it just opened my mind to opportunities. A lot of people like myself like to be active, but during COVID, a lot of the things we typically could do, not able to do it anymore. So maybe in Florida you guys got to, but in Kentucky we didn't do nothing. We didn't get to go to the gym. They literally took the basketball rims off of the outdoor.
I remember that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure did. I remember the way I passed my time first couple of months. We would get these runs. I lived for my Lexington people. I lived at 524. They had that rim over at the Wyatt. Mm-hmm. So we would play at the Wyatt and we would run. And one day I went over there and they literally took the rims off the backboard.
Yep.
So we wouldn't play anymore. And so basketball was my way of getting cardio. When I couldn't go to the gym, try to go to parks, they would literally kick you out of some of the state parks if you tried to walk in them. So I just realized, man, well, how am I supposed to get my fitness in? I do push-ups and sit-ups and all that at home. But running-wise, the only thing I could do was just run. Me and my roommate, we would do a mile a day, and we would just run. And I hated it. I just did not enjoy the process of running a mile. It was just boring to me. And I wasn't motivated to do it. And so thinking about myself, I'm a very social person. I'm an extrovert. I like to do group activities. I also like to compete. I like to win. I like to compete. I like there to be some kind of competitive aspect to stuff. And so in my head, the idea was, can we create a fun, social, competitive game around running in a way that's distributed where, since social distancing is a thing, we can't go to the same places as other people at the same time. In fact, the initial tagline of the company was "Go the social distance." That was the initial tagline of the business, literally. And so that's where the idea came from. Yeah, right. So you see what you did. Yeah. That marketing, maybe the student loans. So that was the original idea of it. Obviously, given that COVID and social distancing isn't really a thing anymore, it's obviously pivoted. But the general idea of it is the same: finding a way to create fun social engagement around walking and running in a way where you don't have to be in the same place as other people. Even though social distancing is not a thing, that's still something that people value because they're still not able to be in the same place as each other all the time. And even if they are, they like to add some layer of dynamicism to it that they might not get running the same route every single day. So, yeah, that's the general idea of it.
Nah, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. It's amazing that you figured out different nuances that made sense for you, and obviously like you said, I think a lot of people say, not a lot of people, but you got certain individuals say, if you build something that you enjoy, there'd be more people in the world that connect to that instead of you trying to build for the masses, and then you kind of really don't know what everybody's looking for because as human nature, we change every day. So the fact that you just stay true to you, now the people get to catch up to what you got going on. I think that's the most viable option, to start off with. So it's just dope that you had that expertise at the time to kind of continue to build as you learn and continue to, throw different ideas until it starts sticking the way you wanted to go. But yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty dope. But, talk to me about, because all that stuff was going on again in the COVID and then you moved to Texas. So like what stuck out about Austin that pulled you to that city?
Opportunity. I was stuck at home living off my dad's attic on an air mattress. And at that point, there's not really a lot of things that could be worse than that. So I just immediately started plotting my next play. and I was looking at places I wanted to go. I knew from a young age I didn't like Kentucky. I just knew that. It was never a point in my life that I thought I could live here the rest of my life. I knew from the jump I don't want to be here forever. Now, obviously, when you're in high school, there ain't really much you can do. And in college, I needed that in-state tuition. I couldn't be paying them out of state. My grade scholarship, so that was out the question. But once I graduated, my plan was always, moving somewhere new. And I got lucky. I got an internship in Dallas the summer before my senior year, and that was my first time living outside of the state. And while I didn't really like Dallas for real, I didn't.
Wow, for real? What you don't like about Dallas?
Man, now, mind you, I wasn't in Dallas. Okay. I was in Plano. Okay. A little bit out the way. Yeah. So I'll say that ahead of time. But this was bougie. It wasn't really my flavor, bro. Like, I didn't like driving there, the roads and the highways, bro. People don't know how to drive. I just felt like the people were kind of bougie. It felt, at least the area I was in was a little bit older. It wasn't really my vibe. But at the same time, I liked not being in Kentucky. And so that opened my mind to the fact, all right, I lived here for 3 months. I didn't die. I could survive in a place that's not Kentucky. So at that point, I just started looking up. I had a lot of free time, especially during COVID. So I was just looking up forums, YouTube, blogs, everything about where the best places, a college graduate who's trying to become an entrepreneur, where the best places to be. And every time I looked at a list, Austin. It was Austin everything. Austin for fitness, Austin for real estate, Austin for just a fun place to be if you're young, Austin growing tech city, Austin everything. Whatever it is that's positive for young people, Austin was on that list. On top of that, every single person I'd ever talked to who went to Austin said they liked it, except for one dude who was like in his 70s. And, in my mind, I'm like, well, if you don't like it, that probably means I would like it, because everything you don't like about it is probably a thing I would like. So between the fact that, again, I had no job, I had no money. So, you can be broke and jobless anywhere. So at that point, I just had to pick where I wanted to be broke and jobless. And there were a bunch of other cities I thought about. I thought about Miami. I thought about Charlotte. I thought about San Francisco. I thought about, Nashville and all these different places. And when I was going down the list of pros and cons, Austin just had the most pros and fewest cons. And I figured, screw it. Like I said, I can be broke and jobless anywhere. So if it don't work out, I can just come home. And if it does work out, then problem solved. And then one day I just got in my car and drove there, and that was that.
That's crazy. That's fact, though. I know I've been in Dallas, but I was actually in Dallas, so that experience for me was different. At the moment, it felt like it was like a mini Vegas. Not obviously, it ain't got the gambling and all that stuff as or casinos, but the city vibrance of right there being by the airline United Center for the basketball team, and then just the walkways and park runs that have like connected intertwining through the downtown was different from like Atlanta and other cities I've been to, even Houston. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't there long enough to really see what's the ins and outs. But I can't imagine being on the outskirts to see what that's like. Every borough is a little different, but
it's not. I don't want to make people think that
Dallas ain't crazy.
It's a little bougie though. I've been in Dallas. It's a little bougie.
It is. You feel me?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Snooty.
Yeah, I agree with that,
bro. It's
So, what y'all think about Atlanta? Then y'all think Atlanta bougie too, or what?
No, Atlanta is just on a different scale.
Yeah, they just got too many people. They got too many people now to be bougie.
Like excellence bougie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Dallas people, they'll let you know they got money. They want you to be like, oh my God.
Oh, 100%.
The best. Like they very
1,000%.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, Dallas is like that. I agree with that one.
I've met a couple girls from Dallas who moved up here to Kentucky, and like you can tell you're from Dallas, aren't you?
They're gonna flaunt that.
They're like, yeah, we're from Texas. I'm like, yeah, you're from Dallas. I can tell. And they're like, how do you know? I was like, because of what you're wearing, all the makeup you got on, all the purses you got, the shoes. I'm like, yeah, you from Dallas.
Yup.
Yeah, we sound like Charles Barkley. How you talking about San Antonio?
That is San Antonio different.
San Antonio, yeah, I've been to San Antonio a couple times. It's a place.
Charles be dogging San Antonio, boy.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Now that I've been, I kind of get what he's saying.
Nah, facts. It is true. It is.
Yeah,
true.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't know. I ain't seen enough women that say that across the board. They're a little bit more rounder. But from what I've seen,
facts is facts,
hey,
bro.
for all you people out there in San Antonio, if you're watching this, man, we don't mean nothing by none of this stuff, man.
Charles said it first. Charles said it first.
Right here. I mean, these views are not reflective of my opinion.
Charles said it first. We just saying what Charles said.
Right, exactly. That's it.
That's funny. But no, let's so you've been in Austin, right? Like obviously, and then starting a business during that time, and then obviously continue to do that. Even us starting a business, like most people want to create something that's meaningful, that's valuable, that's dynamic, obviously in future forward for the long haul. But like, what were the initial steps for you to grow awareness, like bringing attention to cardio, like locally in Austin, that translated to people learning about it like nationally?
Yeah, the first thing was just getting in front of people. I think, unfortunately, some people think that all they got to do is spend some money, run some ads, and it's just going to happen for you organically. Yeah. And I wish it would be a lot easier if it did. I would be much happier and much less tired if that's all it took. But unfortunately, you got to get your hands dirty, especially for a product like ours. It's so different from things in the market. You know, when you say it's a cardio turf war app, people scratch their head and think, what the fuck did you just say? So they don't even get it. So you really got to get in front of them and let them know. And so the first step was just going out and literally going to run clubs and runners and just actively showing them. Like I had to get good at running enough to actually demo it to people. So I just had to like train. Like I accidentally became a marathon runner, kind of on accident because I was just running so much, showing people the app. That eventually I just got good at running. And I was like, oh, well, shit, now I can run marathons and stuff. That's cool. But yeah, bro, that was what it was. I would go to run clubs and I would say, hey, I made this app. And the first dozen or so times they'd be like, all right, and they would just ignore me. And then I had to get more creative. I came up with these like competitions. I had this one thing I called Battle for the Blocks. It was this big run club turf war for $1,000 because most of these run clubs don't really make money or revenue. So you throw money in front of the face, they get excited. So I had this big run club competition where all the run clubs would compete with each other for this big turf war in Austin. And that was a lot of these run clubs' first time ever even responding to any of my messages because they could see some money. And then they used it and they thought, oh, damn, this actually ain't half bad. And then it was just pretty much a lot of that, just getting in front of people, pitching them, showing them, getting them to try it out and getting them to realize, okay, this is actually a very cool product. This is actually very interesting. It's very unique and different. And it's a difficult process. I mean, it's something I'm still doing to this day, even 2 years into it. You know, I still have to go up and convince people that it's worth their time. So it is an uphill battle spreading the awareness, and it's definitely not something where you make one pitch. It's like 7 to 10 pitches just to get somebody to give it a try legitimately. But, you know, it's a game that requires patience. I consider myself a very aggressively patient person. I'm going to keep trying, but I know it's going to take a while.
That's big. That's big. I think that's,
I like how you said that.
Yeah.
I like that.
The right mindset for sure. Yeah.
I think some people are too aggressive. They feel like they want to just punch through a wall and it's going to happen immediately. And then they get burnt out because they throw a couple of punches at the wall and the bricks don't break. And then everything doesn't move the way they want it to and they give up. And then some people are too patient. They got like a little plastic spork and they're like scraping against this brick, just saying, oh, eventually it'll happen. But you don't have forever. You don't have forever on this. You got to, at the same time of being patient, also be aggressive enough to try to break through the wall with everything you got and just have that grit, persistence, and also belief more than anything that eventually is going to break down. So that's the hard part. That's why a lot of people fail.
I didn't mean to cut you off. How long has the cardio app been up and running?
So we've been up and running about 2 years. January the 7th will be our 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations on that.
Like I said, I got this idea all the way back in COVID. Feel me? Like July of 2020 is when the first inklings of an idea formed. So we launched in January of 23. So from July 20 to January 23, it was just me thinking of the idea, figuring out what it would look like, interviewing people, drawing what it would look like, literally like hand drawing it to what it would look like, showing it to people, interviewing people, using other apps, studying what they do, how we could do it better or differently. Then going and making prototypes, showing it to people, them saying it sucked, show them again, have it suck a little bit less, show them again, have it suck a little bit less than that time, and doing that over and over again, convincing engineers to quit their stable jobs to work with me for free or for basically nothing. Get people to give you money, get people to download it, get those people to tell other people to download it, keep building new features, do all these different things. And that's all before you really even hit that critical mass of actually making any money. We didn't even start generating meaningful revenue until, a couple months ago. So a lot of this is just belief in something that has not even shown you an inkling of return on investment yet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, that's real. That's real. That's dedication and real right there.
That's entrepreneurship in its whole self right there. It's crazy.
Let me ask you a question, though. If anybody got any questions, let me ask one question really quick. The coding part. Is the coding part tough about making the app?
Definitely. Well, for one, I'm not a coder. So literally the hardest part for me wasn't even the coding itself. It was finding somebody who's good enough at coding to do it. So, and I know Mike was there when I was telling this story and he also watched the episode. and we'll talk about that later, so I'm not gonna mention until we get there to not derail. But I sent about 400 DMs to even get an engineer. And then the engineer that said yes eventually said no the first time. And then 9 months later, he changed his mind. So it wasn't even like 400 DMs to get to a yes. It was 400 no's. Then I kind of said, screw it. If everybody's saying no, that means I haven't done enough work. And that's another part about this game that's difficult, is that sometimes you got to look in the mirror and think, all right, at some point, it's on me. It's very easy to say, oh, well, it would have went well if somebody came on to be an engineer and build it, or if this investor had given me money, or if that run club had signed up and downloaded it, or if this person had done, at some point, if nothing is going the way you want it, you got to take ownership and say, all right, what's something I'm doing? And so eventually, after 400 no's, I looked in the mirror and said, all right, well, you know what? 400 people told me no. It's not personal. It's business, which means that I haven't done enough to create value for them to want to join the team yet, which means that I have to be better. I have to work harder. I have to I have to give them a reason to want to be a part of this. And so that's when I started, messaging the people at Pokemon Go who gave me my first investment. That's when we built our website and we got a couple hundred people on a wait list. That's when I started getting these people like the founder of Map My Fitness and some people at Peloton and Strava and whatnot to come on as advisors. And then at that point, it became a much easier sell. And then one of those people who said no came back to me and asked to be a part of it. I didn't even ask him, but I had presented enough value to show forward motion. And now instead of him saying no to me asking him, he came back to tell me to accept him now. So, it's like with anything in life, bro. Sometimes the best way to get something done is to be desirable, because it's difficult to make somebody want you when you're not desirable. It's easier to just look in the mirror and say, all right, you know what? I'm fat. My clothes is ugly. My fit's weak. I ain't got game. Yeah. I ain't got bad hygiene. I'm expecting this 10 out of 10 to come date me. It don't make no sense. Instead, I need to go take a shower. I need to go style myself. I need to hit the gym. And I need to get my money up. And then all of a sudden, she's going to be in my DMs. And business is the same exact way.
Now you said you was getting inspiration for the app from other places. Where was that inspiration coming from?
Pokemon Go was the biggest one. Literally the entire pitch initially when I had the idea, before I could really frame it in its own light, was Pokemon Go.
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking that same thing. I was like, "Hey, that sound like." I mean, that sound like it, but it's like the kind of same thing as Pokemon Go, where people will just find stuff.
Similar an idea, yeah. Yeah, so literally that was the pitch. Before it had a name, before it had a real proof of concept, it was Pokemon Go as a running app. That's how I pitched it. And funny enough, that's how I pitched it to the CEO of Pokemon Go, and he liked it enough to give me money. So I guess it worked out that way. But yeah, a lot of things, there's nothing original under the sun. So in my mind, everything has to have its own unique twist to it, because in that case, if it doesn't, why would I use your product versus the 1,000 that do the same exact thing? But at the same time, nothing is really fully original. And so in my mind, I took the things that were really good about running apps like Strava and Garmin and Apple Health, and then I just combined them with some of the gamification aspects of something like Pokemon Go, and people have really seemed to like it so far.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
That's a fact.
All right. I think we can cut into the meat and the bones portion of the podcast. I think this is what Ceej and TK have been waiting on. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
George.
Let's talk about it.
Shut your mouth, TK. Let's go ahead and talk about how you got on Shark Tank.
Yeah, man. So I figured we're going to get into it eventually. So I don't want to spoil it until we did. So that's the funny thing, man. It happened on accident. It really genuinely happened on accident. So just like a little bit of background, I've been watching Shark Tank my entire life. Pretty much since I was 10 years old, I've been watching it. And so I see you said the same thing. I've been watching it my whole life, basically, man. Like all the way back to like season 1 when it first came out. Me and my mom been watching it. And so I always knew in my head I wanted to be on Shark Tank. But truth be told, I felt like I was not ready for it. I felt like I got to be a lot further along in my journey, more users, more revenue, cooler team, more accomplishments, more polished as a founder before I could go on there. So lo and behold, this is all the way back in April, when somebody DMs me on LinkedIn and says, yo, I found your app and I found you as a person and how you speak and how you present, and I think you would be a really good fit for season 16 of Shark Tank. In my mind, I'm like, bullshit, no way. But I actually took the time, responded to the message, and then it turns out it was legit. This person was a legit casting producer and recruiter for the show. And so 2 months of going through the recruiting process and background checks and getting all this data to see that the numbers I had been presenting were real and all this, yada, yada, yada. All of a sudden, I find myself on the set of Shark Tank in LA 2 months later. And so, that's how I got on the show. I mean, it was a really surreal process because throughout the process, they're telling you, just to let you know, it's a very competitive process. We don't know if we'll be able to get you in. We don't know if you're actually going to get to even pitch to the Sharks. Even if you fly to LA, even when you fly to LA, you might not actually get to go. And the thing is, I took it seriously because I take everything seriously. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, but this might not happen. So I'm not putting that much energy into it. Like one thing that you do as part of the application process is you do a video submission. They say, send us a 5 to 8 minute video talking about yourself, talking about the company, talking about the product. And, some people, they go all out. They'll rent a studio. They'll get a video production team. They'll do all this different type of stuff. They'll get mic'd up and this and all that, green screen. I literally just called on my homie. I said, hey, bro, do me a favor. I'm about to just walk in the park while using the app, and I just want you to follow me with your phone like this and just record me, just here in the middle of the park. And that's literally what I did. I took a video of me walking in the park just talking. I was saying, I said, bruh, when I was talking about money, I said, yeah, if we got the bread, we would do this. Like, I was keeping it so 100 because I felt like at the end of the day, this is my personality. This is who I am. And if this works,
gotta be yourself.
I was being real. I was just being real. Like, this is who I am. I remember I even caught myself. I didn't even mean to do it, but I was saying, yeah, we get the bread. I even caught myself. I'm like, shit. Should I cut down? I said, nah, fuck it. And I just left it in. And so I cleaned it up a little bit. I removed some of the wind in the background. I threw captions on it and all that. But yeah, that was it. But they really resonated with my authenticness. They liked the product, and they felt like I had good stage presence. And they said, screw it. We're flying you to LA. We're going to have you pitch. And then, there I was in LA in front of the Sharks. And the rest is history, I guess.
Man. That's crazy, man. All right, so let me go ahead and start it off with the questions, man. Look, I know somebody else wanted, but I'm starting off first. But man, hey, Shark Tank, like you said, bro, Shark Tank was one of those shows I watched all the time growing up. I don't know why. It was just one of those shows that popped up on every time I was flipping the screen and I seen it pop up, I just stayed watching it. And then every time after that, I just kept watching it. So now I want to know about the people, about the Mark Cubans and the Damon Jones. Like, how were they when you were speaking with them, man? Like, the dude from FUBU, like, is he really, like, are they really assholes, or are they actually trying to help you in a way to get your business?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say they were assholes. I would say they really are a lot like they are on the show. So I'll say that at least in that moment, I didn't get to really interact with them too deeply because you're in there and you're talking about your business. So everything you're talking about is very business oriented. They do ask personal questions, but for the majority of the time, you're talking about the fundamentals of what it is your company does, how it makes money, what you would do with the money you got from the Sharks, why you want to work with the Sharks. You're negotiating the deal. They offer one. So you don't get into the nitty gritty of their backstory and them as people, really. But they were pretty cool. Kevin had a couple moments where he was kind of, I won't even say being an asshole. He was just being tough, asking tough questions, which in his defense, I feel like he had every right to ask because I think they were legitimate questions. I answered them the best of my ability. I had a couple of moments where I stumped his ass for show. So
that's what I'm talking about. Get you, Kevin. Kevin.
We got it. But yeah, it was all cool, man. I wouldn't walk away from. I don't think there's anybody on that show that I wouldn't go get a drink with afterward if they offered. Everybody was cool enough.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Dang, man, that's crazy. Shark Tank. So, who was the best offer, if you don't mind me asking? Because I didn't even see the episode yet.
So spoil it for you. Since it's been out for 2 months now, I feel like I can do spoilers now. But we actually got a deal with Damon John and Rashawn Williams. So Rashawn, he's a guest shark. He's a minority owner for the Atlanta Falcons, early investor in Dropbox, DoorDash, Coinbase, SpaceX, whole bunch of companies. So cool too. Also a brother. So, two very successful older black men who obviously I would like to be very much like as I get older. We actually closed the deal. We got the money. I text them both, pretty often. I wouldn't say all the time. We're not talking every day, but I can text them and get a response within an hour or two. I've actually got to hang out with Damon John and him also. They were both in Atlanta. Talking about Atlanta, I was actually in Atlanta with them about 3 weeks ago. Got to go to Rashawn's house and got to hang out with Damon at a private club for a couple of hours and just chat it up. So Damon's tough, man. I'm gonna be real with you. Damon's tough. Like, he's very to the point, very business oriented. He has very direct questions, and he don't mess around. There's even one point I asked him a question about something like, what was the best return you got from any of your deals? And he said, you should already know that. You slipping, young man. You should already know that. Now, mind you, I did already. I was trying to make casual conversation. So I already knew what it was. So it made me look dumb just trying to be casual and have him answer the question I already knew the answer to. I didn't want to come off as too nerdy and shit, but whatever. But he's cool, man. He's cool. And Rashawn's definitely a homie. I like him a lot. He's given me a lot of wisdom. We sat down at his personal home. Nice as hell. His house is next to Matt Ryan's.
Wow.
At least.
Wow.
Brother had 2 pools, bro. 2 pools and 2 tennis
just
courts.
To have it.
Bro, just to have it.
Man. That's ridiculous.
I saw the crib out there. Actually worth $9 million. I said, my Lord. Golly. I texted him. I said, bro, why you stunning on me like this, bro? But anyway, but he was mad cool. I was at his personal house, and he was going through everything, saying, like, here's a roadmap. Here's how I'm going to help you. Here are things you need to do for yourself. Let me know how I can be helpful. I'm going to plug you with this person, with that person. He's giving me emails and phone numbers for important people that I should be talking to and whatnot. So, I mean, overall, a really cool dude, both of them. I'm really excited to be able to grow with all of them in my own personal pursuits, my professional pursuits, and then also just as a man, as a person growing up, becoming hopefully an influential businessman as myself, being a young black man in a world where, a lot of us ain't as successful as they are, learning from those people how to do that, and setting the foundation early. I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Man, that's big. That's big. That's big.
Hey.
So I also have another question on top of the whole Shark Tank thing. Like, when you're watching the episode, I've watched your episodes and a bunch of other Shark Tank episodes. When you're watching it, it feels like it goes by like that. Yeah. When you're pitching it, did you feel like you're there forever? Did it feel like a long time, or did it also feel like you were there and gone in a matter of like 5 minutes?
No, it did feel like it was like that, because I was in there and I was talking, and you're so caught up in it. You're obviously really amped up. You've been prepped, especially for me. I was in the green room. So, like, just to give you a general idea of what happens. So you get to your hotel, whatever, early morning call, 7 a.m., breakfast, 8 a.m., they take you to the studio, and then you go in pods, and you're there in the green room waiting. I was in the green room for about 7 hours. I was in the green room from like 8, and I didn't pitch until 3.
My God.
So by that time, I had already been kind of psyched out because I'm just trying to keep myself prepped. I'm trying to keep myself mentally going. I haven't ate outside of breakfast all day, and I barely even ate breakfast because how nervous I was. So I'm just sitting there waiting, and then you do makeup and hair. They mic you up, all this stuff. They throw you out there. And so, again, especially for me, I've been watching the show my whole life. Like, I feel like I already know all these people. And this is a big moment, and you got a lot riding on this. Not only the money, the personal brand that you grow from it, the professional awareness that comes to your company if you do well, but then also the fact that it would be on the complete flip. You could get burned on the internet and people would talk shit about you and all that. So you got a lot riding on you, and then you're just getting grilled with tough questions. And so you don't really think much about the time passing. You're just trying to survive. And then I leave. And again, my mom was with me. And for the people who saw the episode, y'all seen that. But she was with me, and she said, "Yeah, you were in there for about an hour." I said, "Damn, I was in there for an hour." Didn't even feel like an hour. I was in there for a full hour. But it felt like that, personally.
Hey, are they like stopping? Like, if you were to mess up on like one of your pitches, are they stopping, saying cut, and then going, or you just gotta
come on, man? They're sharks. They're out here to get you.
No ball up top, bro. You turn the ball, you turn the ball.
That's tough.
And the thing is, very rarely do people mess up on the monologue because they make you script that. Yeah. Like, again, none of it is scripted except for that monologue, but that monologue is extremely scripted. Like, the whole time you're prepping for the show, they are getting that monologue crisp, bro. I probably practiced that pitch in front of the producers maybe 25 times, bro. Maybe more than that. 25 times in front of them, maybe even more just by myself. But I did that pitch an unbelievable number of times. Like, even getting the demo video of the app took forever. We had to change the colors of the map. We had to change the speed of it. They wanted me to change the voiceover. It was so like even the images, like even when I had like Mark Cuban and Lori's face on there, said, "Oh, we can't use this picture of Mark. You gotta use this picture of Mark. You gotta use this picture of Lori. We can't show street names. You can't show Mapbox's logo, which is what we use for the map for the app. Like it was a tough process. Like the video and the monologue was probably of all things I had to do the most difficult for the simple fact that it was so scripted and there were so many regulations on what was allowed and what wasn't allowed. And there was a lot of things they told me to do, most of which I listened to, some of which I said, screw it, I'm going to do my thing anyway. But one of them, because funny enough, this is another funny thing. And this didn't make the episode. But the day I filmed was June the 18th. For my basketball folk, June the 17th is when the Mavs lost to the Celtics in the finals. And so they specifically told me, try to avoid basketball as much as possible.
Because of Mark Cuban. Man, I swear to God.
Oh, no. Yeah, they don't. And they said, like, and this even happened before. If you go back, there was a company. I can't remember what the name is, like Cool Rides or something like that. But there was a company. It was like a specialty car scent company, like one of those little like car scent things that dangle from your rear view mirror or whatever. They had one. This was in 2022. This is right after the Warriors beat the Mavs in the conference finals in 22. And one of them was a Golden State Warriors themed scent. And they made a joke that this one smells like winning. And Mark was out. He said, I'm out. In the middle of the pitch.
That goes to my question. Is he like that, isn't he?
Well, he was actually very nice. He was actually a bro.
Mark pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying.
Mark was a homie.
That's what I'm saying. He liked
Mark was a homie.
I can tell he probably got an aura to him, don't he?
Oh no, he's got aura for sure.
Yeah,
he's got max aura. No, Mark. There was another moment. It was another moment during the episode that didn't make the show, but there was a moment when we were in the pitch. So, long story short, everybody was out except for Rashawn and Damon. And so Rashawn and Damon were whispering each other's ear about something. And so it was dead silent. Again, you're in there, there's no music, bro. They're not playing the music.
Oh my gosh, what?
Ain't got that shit. You're just in there in a room by yourself. And it's a big room. Like they're about 30, 40 feet away from you, bro. So it's not a very small space. It's a big space. And so you're sitting there on this rug, just twiddling your thumbs, waiting. And then they're the last people available, so they don't make a deal. I'm walking out of there with no bread. So I'm a little nervous. And the producers had told me ahead of time that if there's any moment of silence, you should fill the air with just personal stories to get people to fall in love with you as a person. It's good for camera. So they were talking for like 30 seconds. Nobody said anything. So I was finna just start talking. I didn't know what I was going to say. I said, well, so I had no idea what the plan was. I was just going to start talking. So I was like, oh, well, while they're discussing, let me tell y'all a little bit more about myself. And Mark said, shut up. They're discussing. This is a good thing for you. Be quiet. And I immediately.
Mr. Cuban.
Hey.
Mr. Cuban.
That's real.
Shout out, Mr. Cuban, boy.
Hey, I'm throwing that key out of there, man. I'm throwing.
Chucking out. So yeah, Mark showed out. Like Mark didn't make us a deal, but he definitely, if we want to talk about like, you know, the positions that everybody was playing there, he was the influencer. He didn't make the deal, but he definitely was saying good words to the people who did. Because there was a point where Rashawn, who was the one who initiated the deal, and Damon kind of leaped onto it. There was a point where Rashawn, who actually runs, he uses Nike Run Club. He's like, well, what makes this different than Nike Run Club? Before I could even answer the question, Mark was like, oh, well, it's gamified. So that's where it's different. I didn't have to answer. He didn't have to do that. He showed out. He showed out for me, though. Like, I definitely owe that man
Mr. Cuban.
Shout out Mark.
Hey, Mr. Cuban, bro.
Shout out Mr. Cuban.
Shout out Mark.
I knew you was one of them.
Nah, for real.
Right. Now, you know what's funny also? Talking about basketball jokes. So after this is the end of the episode. So this is after I walked out. And Mike, you've seen the episode and stuff like that. So this is after I get the deal. You know, we hug Damon, John, and Rashawn. We excited. I'm saying thank you very much. Me and my mom, we walking out. So they cut this. But before we left, my mother walks back out there. And again, like I said, it's the day after the Celtics beat the Mavs. She walks in there and says, by the way, we hate the Celtics.
They should have kept that in there, man. I don't know why.
I know.
Hey, she knew what she was doing.
They cut so much good stuff. Like, again, I'm not a producer. It's not up to me on what keeps, what can't be kept. But there was some good jokes that they did not keep.
That's tough.
Like, there was one joke when we were negotiating, whatever, and they were like, 15%, and you got to show me your arm workout. I was pissed. They cut that joke. I was pissed they cut that. I needed that for my ego, but it's all right. I got the bread, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Win is a win.
What a life experience, though.
How do lights feel in that moment, though? When you walked in and you had to, you all that preparation, and you finally hit the stage. Like, how do lights really feel?
Wait.
It was terrifying.
How far is that walk? Is that a far walk? I feel like it's a far walk.
Oh yeah,
bro.
Yeah, I gotta ask that.
That's a long hallway, bro. That's why they be cutting. It's a long walk, bro. It took probably about like 10 seconds, bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
Pause.
It's probably. No, I would say, again, I ain't have no ruler with me, and I wasn't sitting here like measuring the room and shit as I was walking up, obviously. But I would say that hallway is pushing probably about like 40, 50 feet. Like it's at least like a basketball half court.
That's wild. That's a lot of pressure right there. Just walking.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, wild. And the thing is, like I said, bro, you walking up in here, there's none of that music. There's none of the.
Exactly. That's all I can think of. All that music.
Yeah, for real though. Literally,
you're walking up. There's no sound. They open the big doors. You see Mark Cuban. You got Kevin O'Leary, Mean Mug. You got Damon John pensively staring at you. You got Lori in the side. And you just walk up. And then the thing is, they say, don't. Here's another thing that was like fucking with me. This is the only moment I was really nervous. The only part I was nervous about was when I first walked in, because at that point, I just felt in control. But when I was walking up, I was nervous as hell because I just didn't know what to expect. And so you're walking up. Again, it's a long walk, so I'm trying not to look awkward. You know, it's like when you're trying to walk normal, it makes walking normal weird. When you're acting, bro, because in my head I'm like, I just don't want to look weird on camera. I don't like want to just look stiff as hell. But then thinking about how I was walking made me walk weird. So even when I watched the episode and I watched myself walk in, I'm like, damn, I'm just shit, bro. So you walk in, and then another thing, there's a very specific spot of the rug they want you to stop on. They say, we want you to stop at this spot of the rug. But don't look at the rug. Look ahead. Look forward. Count the steps. So the whole time I'm walking up, and I'm like trying to feel with my foot, I'm like, it's the part of the rug? Is this the rug? Is this the part of the rug I'm supposed to be at? And so then you walk out there. It's another thing, too, that people don't know. When you walk out there, you don't start talking immediately. You walk out there, and then you just have to stand there for a second. They got to get the lights right. They got to get the cameras in focus. And so you're just standing there. You can't speak. They can't speak to you.
That's where all that music and stuff going on and all that. Yeah.
So you're there for like 30 seconds, 60 seconds just staring. And they just say, go.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it was very unnerving. It was very unnerving initially. But once I started talking, it just felt I felt very in control, because then as soon as I started speaking and pitching, I realized, this is the 1,000th time I've done this. I've done this so many times. I know the script from the back of my hand. Like, I could do it backwards at this point. I know my product. I know my numbers. I know we got something cool. And then also I know all of y'all. I've been watching y'all the last 16 years. I know everything that y'all gonna ask because I've seen you ask 1,000 other founders. So I already know what's about to happen. So I just felt overly prepared. So at that point, in my opinion, nervousness is really a byproduct of not being prepared. And I felt very prepared. So, that walk-in was unnerving because, I just didn't know what to expect. But once I walked in there and I started giving my pitch, I just realized this is the same thing I've done 1,000 times. I'm just a little bit more famous and wealthy than the people I usually do it to. And I have a audience of 1 million people on camera. So outside of that, this ain't nothing I ain't done before.
That makes me feel 100% better about the show, knowing that it's real, but they have to put like a TV aspect on it in a sense to where you got to act a certain way. Yeah. Gotta make it for television. But at least we know it's real. It's real. I knew it was real because I used to see the products that they was always pitching in the stores. I was like, dang, I seen that on Shark Tank before. But now that I know, it's not actually all scripted. It's more of just you being yourself and you trying to really get your business out there. That makes me feel a lot better about that show for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's very, very raw. You just go out there, they roll the ball out and just say, and they tell you straight up, it's like, if you screw up, there ain't really nothing we can do to save you. We can't start over. Ain't no do-over. Some people go out there, like they even have a psychologist on staff that when the episode is done filming, you have to talk to a psychologist just to make sure that you're good. Because again, mine went really well. I got some money. I made good TV. Everything went well for me. So obviously I was straight. But some people, first of all, some people are just afraid of speaking in public in general. Like some people are afraid of public speaking as a whole. Some people don't even like presenting in front of their group at like a school project. So presenting like that, very unnerving for people. Then also some people go in there and get absolutely crushed. They get laughed at. They get their company called trash. They get personally insulted. And then on top of that, a lot of people also recognize the weight of what happened. Because if you get cooked out there and you look bad, you cry, or your company looks bad, or you look incompetent, you about to have 1 million plus people see that. So a lot of people get crushed on that. And so they have a psychologist on staff just to check and make sure, like, yo, you good, right? Like, you're not going to let this fuck your head up too much, are you? So it's tough. It's tough for a lot of people. I got lucky.
That's what
some people work good.
That's what's gonna happen.
That's what Kevin do to people. Hey, for you people out there, man, Kevin will send you to that psychologist. So
he will.
Make sure you got your stuff in order.
Yeah, because Kevin don't care.
Kevin does not play.
Yeah.
How mom's feel though? I know she kind of helped you initiate the offer. So like, how she feel now? Like, obviously it's been a couple months removed from it. Like, how things with her and you right now.
No, it's cool. My mom, she loves it. She was happy to be there. We still talk about it. It's definitely our moment together for sure. Ain't no pleasing that woman, bro. Like, literally, I was in town for Thanksgiving, or not for Thanksgiving. I was in town I was in town for when we was there for the party, for the Shark Tank watching party at UK. And literally, when I was there, I was like, "Oh, can I borrow the car?" And she's like, "Oh, you can't borrow my car." I said, "Mom, I literally took you on national television. No. I can't even drive a car down the street to go get some food."
No, never.
We love you, Mom. Never change, Mom. Never change.
Yeah, mom's is mom. Mama Dukes.
Bro, ain't nothing changed, bro. She treated me the same way when I used to just get in detention for talking too much in class in high school, bro.
It don't matter.
But she's also proud. She's also very critical because she tells me all the time, I was using the app and this thing happened. I know it's not supposed to happen. What the hell? Ain't Damon John doing something?
Hey, shout out, Mom. Shout out, Mom.
They always going to keep you grounded.
Hey, don't pull no punches. She'll tell you exactly what she think. And she even been saying, like, I want to talk to Damon. I feel like he should do this and do that. I'm like, Mom, bro, I'm not the most important person in his life. He has other shit going on, but I won't relate to that.
She don't care. It's just you.
Yeah.
She don't care about all that other stuff.
Bro, my mom is funny. My mom genuinely suffers from thinking I'm the main character. So I remember this is in college, bro. This was like my sophomore or junior year of college. I can't remember. But she had never been in my college apartment at that point yet. So she was in town for something. I don't even remember what it was for, but she came. And for some reason, I don't know, she called me. I didn't pick up the phone or whatever, but she was looking for my apartment and she couldn't find it. So she literally knocked. 524, that's a lot of apartments, bro. Yeah. So she literally went to some random apartment at 524 and she knocked on the door. Somebody comes to the door. She says, "I'm looking for my son." They said, "Oh, who's your son?" They say, "George Bell." And they said, "I don't know George Bell." I said, "You don't know my son."
Shout out, moms.
Oh, bro, like,
that could have been some females or anything at that door. They embarrassed.
Nobody knows who it is. It don't matter. And I love that about my mom. She rides for me. Like, she thinks I'm a superstar.
I love that. Shout out moms again, man. For real. I love that.
Shout out moms, bro. That's why I had to bring her. Even that's the story. Like, even bringing her on the Shark Tank was really difficult because they initially didn't want her to come at all. They said you can only bring people who are an equity partner, people who are like legitimately in the business. And obviously, to me, she is because she's been a rider. Like, even when I drove to Austin, she's the only person who supported that for real. She even drove with me all the way to Austin, Kentucky. 16-hour drive. She did it with me. So she did most of the driving, to be honest. So I appreciate y'all ladies now.
Hey, I like
shout out moms.
So I wanted her to come. And plus, we've been watching a show together since I was like 10, 11 years old. But they wouldn't let her go. So I had to like find all these wiggle rooms to even get her there. So at first, like, oh, well, okay, she can't be on, but can she just come with me to LA? And they said, yeah, she can come, but we're not going to fly her. So then we had to pay out of pocket to fly her to LA. Then we was like, oh, well, can she come with me to the green room and be in there all day? I don't want to be in there by myself. They said, all right, she can come. And then I said, well, wouldn't it be cool if my mom was with me in the beginning of the show in like the little walk-in area? And they said, oh, that'd be cute. So they put makeup on her, do her hair, put some cardio gear on and all that. And then her coming out at the end of the episode was completely unscripted because I just asked, can I go ask her a question? And they said, actually, just go get her. So it was completely unscripted. She wasn't even mic'd up or anything. They had to mic her up to even send her out there because she wasn't supposed to be on camera at all. So, yeah, man, long story short, it was a very unorthodox experience getting her on there. So I'm glad we got to have that experience.
Shout out, moms, for sure.
Shout out.
That's dope.
Man, I got one more, one last question from my end, at least before we wrap it up. And I know this might trigger TK, so close your ears, TK. But did you ever get your car towed from 524?
Bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I never did, and I lived there. But I had several guests who came to my apartment get towed. For sure.
Same. TK was one of them.
Damn, bro. I'm not gonna lie, they didn't play around. If you didn't have that visitor pass, or if you wasn't in that visitor lot, you was getting that ass.
No. Everybody know. They was taking that money from children. They wrong. I don't care.
Bro,
you can't
robbing the cradle.
Y'all was taking money from children.
I went to TKD2 house for 2 hours just to take a nap.
Bro,
and these niggas,
that's too many. How dare you?
TK was up in my apartment because I lived at 524. He was out there for 5 minutes. I looked out the window. I said, "Hey, TK, your car getting towed." And he's like, "No, not." And I'm like, "All right, bro, it's your loss." And then he ran out the door.
No, that's fucked up. Your part, because why did you try to get him out there? You said, "Oh, that's fucked up."
I was like, "Bro, they're towing your car." And then he runs out there. The guy was like, "Yeah, it's gonna cost like 500 or something like that." And he goes, "What if I come down right now?" And he goes, "All right, it'll be like 450."
I'm like, what the
world? Oh, wait. They charge you 450?
That's crazy.
No, it was 250. It was not. Yeah. No, so what happened
was. I was going to say, I'm about to say, you got hoed.
No, so what happened, I remember this shit, bro. So I went upstairs for 5. I think I was getting like a controller, bro. He was like, your car getting towed. I'm like, bro, no, it's not. He was like, no, it is. I walked out and said, bro, what are y'all doing? He was like, you want to push me? I said, bro, I'm about to leave right now. I can't take off things. He said, nah. Company policy. I said, so you telling me you about to go down the street 2 minutes and I got the keys right here and you about to take money?
Less than a quarter mile.
Literally.
Less than a quarter mile. We used to walk to the town.
Well, they're taking money from children, bro. From children. They knew they was wrong for that. Taking money from children.
I remember distinctly, my homie, he had a shorty come over one night and then she came over and he said, "Oh, you don't need a visitor pass."
Everyone's famous last words.
He handled business or whatever. She woke up the next morning, her car was gone. He said, "Damn, that's crazy. I'll drive to the tow lot. Didn't even pay for it."
Ooh, he a cold killer. He a cold killer.
That man is on a list, bro. That man has
killer for that.
Never get that girl.
That's tough.
That girl ain't
not even half. Not even half is tough. He a cold killer.
Bro,
he a cold killer.
He said, "Damn, I'll give you a ride."
Yeah, he a cold killer.
I'll give you a ride to the lot, I guess.
That's wild.
Savagery, bro.
Damn.
Savagery. That type of shit that make you believe there ain't a God.
Yep.
Boy. That's
cold killer.
Cold killer. Hell is hot.
That's different. Nah, man. We want, as we wrap up, we got the word of the week that we wanted to kind of mention back again, and I wanted to obviously ask, what does ambition mean to you, as a person now that's always been doing entrepreneurial endeavors, since a young child and to, where you are now. So like, what does ambition mean to you and how has that ambition got you to where you are now?
I would say ambition is a radical pursuit of what you want in life, no matter how difficult it is to obtain it. The thing is about life is that everything is hard. I think it's really hard to run marathons and to bench press 225 and do all these different things. But I think it's also hard to be out of shape. I think it's hard to be so fat that you can't even go up a flight of stairs. I think it's difficult where you got high blood pressure and you got bad medical bills because you always got these chronic pains and whatnot. I think both of those things are very difficult. And so when I think about ambition, I think that a lot of people are afraid of doing hard things because they're difficult. Yeah. But I think everything is hard. I think it's really hard to run a business and then also to own real estate and have tenants and have to manage your investment portfolio and then try to squeeze in fitness and make time for your girl and then also have to deal with your employees and have the struggles of making payroll every month and keeping your investors happy and going out and not making a fool of yourself on national television on Shark Tank. But I also think it's difficult to work a job that you hate and barely scrape by paycheck to paycheck and feel this feeling of regret about what you could have done with your 20s and if you had just bought Bitcoin and if you had just ran with that idea and done that. I think those are both really difficult things. And so I look at ambition as almost a necessary thing. Since I know life is going to be hard, why would I ever make it hard doing something I don't even want to do? Like I can live with the difficulty of running a marathon, because that's a goal that I can accomplish that makes me feel good about myself. The difficulty of, being overweight or having to deal with being paycheck to paycheck are the type of hard that I don't want to deal with, because I don't get anything out of that hard. I don't accomplish anything by being paycheck to paycheck, but I do working 16 hours a day to build a business, because at least when that succeeds, I got something to show for myself.
That's real. I think that's a really good, great perspective to talk about it. Like, when you dropped the mic, facts.
Yeah,
right?
That was good.
One crazy. I mean, I think, we all have our own perspectives on that, and I think we all trying to strive towards greatness in one way or the other, and hopefully bring the people with us that's also on that same wavelength that want to be great. Because if not, then the people that's not wanting to be great can pull you in the wrong trajectory, and then you kind of in a swivel of, what am I doing? Who am I? The people around me right? Am I wrong? Like, you start going through these different mental gymnastics, and you don't want that, right? So you want to find yourself in the pursuit of things that give you the most amount of livelihood, and I think that allows you to attract the people that's meant for you, and then you'll find yourself in the right scenarios, as long as you don't give up on yourself, right? So we appreciate you, obviously, giving that. And I just want to ask one more question. So, like, right now, what's the most important thing in your life between money, power, success, time, and respect? What do you think?
Specifically, 5 things?
Yes, those specific 5 things.
For me right now, money, power. Give me the list again. So you said money, power, respect, time, and what was the 5th one? I think
money, power, time, respect, love is the last one.
And like, ooh, damn. If I don't say love, my shorty gonna be on my ass. This part. And I gotta be real. I think for me at this moment in time, just being fully honest, I think money's the most important thing to me. I feel like that all those things, to an extent anyway, are precipitated with money. Like, time, money buys you time. Like, if you don't have enough money to support yourself, you have to give all your time to making money. If you got bills that are due, you're going to have to work that double shift at McDonald's flipping burgers if you ain't got the money. If you want respect, generally when we look at the people most respected in society, they're the people who are doing the best for themselves. And usually that is tied to money. LeBron, for better or worse, Donald Trump, people like that people have a lot of respect for and look up to and give all the power to as well, usually financially, have put themselves in a position to do that. And then also, we just being honest about it, love also, because the more money you make, all of a sudden, the more attractive you are as a mate, the more your parents, your family respects you, the more that the world respects you. And that's where that love and adoration comes from. There's not a lot of people who are on Section 8 that's getting a lot of love out of these days. And if they are getting love, they're probably going to use that love to elevate themselves to a position where they are making some money. You see all these people like, so stupid, but like Hot Tula Girl. She just some random shit.
Don't even start. We're gonna have to wrap up.
Right, but feel me? She just got famous talking about slopping on a knob, and now all of a sudden she's making hymns, just talking about whatever she was talking about on some side interview, and now that power and love and adoration, all that she gets turns into capital, turns into money, which turns into more money. So yeah, to me right now, money's the most important thing. I'm not working all these hours and busting my butt doing all these things I'm doing to just live the way I'm living today. I want to be in a position to have the financial means to do the things that I really want to do with myself, to use my time the way I want to utilize my power the way I want to pull in the love from the people that I'm looking for, to drive the respect that I feel like I deserve and want to have for the people who I respect, and give them the power to have that same level of respect. So I just think it all comes back to money. It really all does.
So I just want to jump in. I got 2 questions, man. One of them is going to be for the end, but my first question is, we all competitive people. So if there was a competition, what would be one skill that you feel like you'll be able to win in 100%?
Against anybody? Against y'all?
Anybody.
Anybody? Damn, that's a good question. Man, one skill. I wouldn't even know what I consider this a skill. I don't even know if it's a skill, but I think it's just a talent I have. I think perseverance. I feel like in a war of attrition, I don't think anybody's going to beat me, because people are going to give up before I give up. The thing about me is that I might take a while to figure something out, but I will never surrender as long as I see there's an option for success. Like I said with this app, I've been working on it for the better part of 4 years now. There's a lot of people since the time I started working on this who made more money, who were smarter than me, who had more resources, who are even trying to do the same exact thing I'm trying to do, who came and went in the time that I've got where I'm at because they gave up. I feel like in a war of attrition where you're working towards something without making meaningful progress, nobody's ever going to beat me in that because I'm going to make progress every single day, and I am not going to surrender until I've accomplished my goal. So I think in that sense, I don't know if you would call that a skill, but I would call that a talent of mine, just being persistent and having perseverance in anything that I believe in.
Yeah, I'll call that a skill. Now, second question. So, I mean, me and my boy Lank, man, we are big advocates for McDonald's, man. So, what is a fast food? Yeah, shout out McDonald's. What is a fast? What is your? So, let me. How do I rate this question? What would you say? Dang, how would I say this? What would you say?
Come on, man, you're embarrassing me.
I know. I got brain.
You said what is better, Burger King or McDonald's?
Okay, yeah. What's the best? What's the best fast food restaurant?
Yeah.
The best? Ooh, dang. The best fast food restaurant? See, now luckily for y'all, I'm a fast food savant, bro. I was raised on that, so I know my stuff. So
we got him, Ceej. We got him.
Yeah, bro. This is a very deep question, bro. You know how people used to do like those little tier lists or whatever? I did one of time for fast food.
What the fuck?
Just for myself, just to rank them, bro.
Oh,
so
Lord.
I'm not gonna hold you. If it were up to me, and the way I like to answer this question is, what would be the fast food restaurant that if you had to go to every single day, you would look for?
You just gave us the best question.
Yeah, I was say, yeah. Come on, I want to hear this.
Write that down, there, Michael. Write that down.
Yes. That's yours, bro. That's probably my man. It's yours now. I would have to say for me, bro. I would have to say Culver's, bro. I really rock with Culver's.
Good answer.
I think Culver's has great shakes. They have great fries. The patties are solid. I think Culver's makes a really good burger. I think if you want to go mainstream, I think Wendy's is a fair option. At least when they had the 4 for $4. Now they got
I'm not mad at you with the Wendy's option.
Kentucky. That's why you said that. Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fraudulent. I'm a big fan of Rallies and Checkers, but I would get tired of eating.
People sleep on Checkers, man.
Yeah, but I would get tired of it. I feel like we're talking like one off. Yeah. It's a little too sloppy for me. Like Culver's, it's at least
you have variety. High quality. You have variety, high quality.
It's just slop, bro. It's pure grease and slop, bro. So I would just die of like heart disease within a week. Then on top of that, and this is when we balling on the budget. That's when we get to the threshold of what is qualified as fast food. Because I don't know if you would consider this restaurant fast food or not, but man, especially if you're trying to ball out a little bit, can't go wrong with Five Guys.
No, you cannot.
Can't go wrong with Five Guys.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Five Guys.
Hey, they know. We were just in Lex at Five Guys.
That's like Dallas. That's like Dallas with the fast food.
That's Dallas fast food.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna drop 25 for a burger, a fry, and a drink.
But that's just good.
But at the same time, it's slap.
Every time. Every time.
I can't lie. I ain't never had a bad meal from Five Guys.
Never bad
experience. Be filled up to the bag like this high. So, hey.
Yeah, me and TK, we went there like a couple weeks ago. We split a whole large fry because I was like, man, we ain't both going to get fries. They basically gave us a whole bag full of fries, and we barely ate a large fries.
I think a small fry.
I say the small fill up. They fill up the bag with the small.
I know.
You don't even need a large fry.
They do the extra scoop. I see it in the back. They do the little extra
scoop. Especially if you talk to them nice up there. You be like, hey, what's going on? How y'all doing today? You talking to me nice? Put that in
I like this guy.
First of all, you don't buy like $7 anyway. So I mean, if I'm gonna pay $7 for a fry,
come on now.
It better be
big. Yeah, on God, that's right. Okay, Culver's. That was a new one. People have not mentioned Culver's. Culver's is something new.
Bro, and the thing is, Culver's has really high standards because I really was interested at some point talking about like all these interests about entrepreneurship. At one point, I was looking into franchising. So Culver's does franchises, and the standard of what you have to do to be even a franchise owner for Culver's is high. Like you got to work within the store for 6 months as an owner for a full-time shift, like 40 hours a week for 6 months. And then you also have to go to a training at their headquarters for like 3 months for them to even like fully indoctrinate you on the Culver's culture and whatnot. So they don't play around. Like Culver's is a very clean, solid establishment. The food is good. The prices are solid. I think they have a good variety. Now, mind you, I'm a simple dude. I just get burgers, but I heard that the chicken ain't bad or the patty melt ain't bad. The milkshakes got variety and they slap. The people are nice. You know, it's a cool spot, bro. I would say Culver's. That'd be my final answer.
Okay, good answer. Okay, I ain't mad at that.
Perfect.
As long as you didn't say Burger King or the other competitors.
No, I got standards.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm
Wow.
Other than that, we good. Yeah, we good.
Oh, DK, that's your thing. Burger King, really?
Wow.
Hey, MBZ, tell about
That's
that.
your-
We'll close it out.
Hey,
Yeah,
hold on, MBZ. Hold on, MBZ. Tell them about them $1.50 nuggets, man. Tell them about them $1.50 nuggets we was on, man.
Now, like 50 looking back on that, like $1.50 for 10 nugs is crazy.
Come on, bro. Remember, you get what you pay for. Think about it.
And what that like at what point in time were we in? Is that 2017? I think they did
Bro, that was like 2017, 2018. $1.50 nuggets was going crazy at that time.
He said, "I got standards." Y'all didn't hear that? That hurt. Oh, that hurt, George.
Hey,
You
man,
hurt.
Burger King ain't like that used
No,
to
it's
be.
all-
Burger King.
Oh, that hurt.
It's gonna kill you if you don't have them. That's cool.
Oh my
It
God.
makes you feel better. I'm not that big of a fan of McDonald's either. It's like
Oh,
to me.
hey, let's go stop. Let's go stop the show now. Let's stop the show now.
Yeah,
Let's stop the show now.
we gotta stop it now.
The Big Mac without
Go
in between.
to
itself,
commercial.
right?
Go to commercial. Go to commercial.
Yeah, well, we trying to get sponsorship out here.
Hey,
This is about to get us ruined.
hey man,
Oh,
nah, Jordan, man, we definitely appreciate you coming on, man. We're super grateful to have you
Yes,
on.
bro,
We do
yes.
everything you're doing, brother.
I'm proud of you, man.
We're
Proud of you, bro.
Continue doing your thing, bro. Like what you're doing is not obviously for the weak, right? And I think you're enduring everything that's meant for you. And I think you'll continue to be the success in your story, and people will obviously get to the point where they have to bow down to your greatness. And I want you to, get your flowers, and I want you to understand that you are unique and you need to continue doing the things that's best for you, because I do believe what you're doing, what is best for you, is ultimately going to be a turning point for our world. And I want you to continue to be
all seriousness.
So we want to, have you on the platform, and we're grateful to have you, and then be able to give you your flowers in real time. Obviously, we want to continue to follow you, support you, and we're going to continue to have the chats. So please, brother, give out your socials so people can continue to follow you, follow the page, follow the brand, and be able to watch your story.
Yeah, for sure. First thing, please, even if you ain't a runner, we take walking too. Walking's fine. I know all y'all at least walk somewhere. So download the app. It's cardio, car.io. Same way it's spelled on my jacket, if y'all can see that, but car.io. Give it a download for my Apple people. Android, we're not out yet, but if you go onto your Android devices, damn, my dad's calling me right now. He's messing up my flow. I'm gonna call him later. My dad always calls me, bro. He literally called me like in the middle of when the episode was airing. I'm like, bro, like, do you? My dad's terrible. But so for my Android people, you go to download car.io. So just like car.io, so card.io, the word download before. So download car.io. Go to our website. You can sign up for the Android waitlist. We hope to have that out sometime early next year. And then if you want to find me, you can look up Destin George Bell on LinkedIn. I'm real active on LinkedIn. I'm a nerd like that, so that's where I'm most active these days. You can also find me on Instagram at gfortune_500. And come holler at me. It ain't too hard to find these days.
Yes, sir.
You gotta make a trip to Austin, man.
Nah, we do.
Got to.
We do.
Hey, you
Trip to Austin, bro.
Because you play basketball too, don't you?
I hoop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna come out there.
We're gonna make a trip.
We'll come out there.
For sure.
Nah, bro, loser buys the other one fast food, bro. You gonna have to buy me my little Coke.
Okay.
Oh yeah, loser.
Yeah.
Loser definitely got to buy the fast food for sure. That's a fact.
If it's Burger King, I'm
Nah.
All right.
Now, just because yes. Matter of fact, loser gotta eat the other food. So now we playing.
I just want to know, is Burger King your pick?
No,
I just want to know, is Burger King your pick?
it's not my pick, but you gotta realize I grew up military.
Oh,
So
yeah.
all
the
military
bases.
bases.
All the bases at Burger King.
You
Yep.
don't
Yes,
That's true.
yes. If I'm not gonna lie, if I had to really, really pick,
That's true.
it's not even a burger. It's Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A never go wrong. If I had really,
Chick-fil-A is
that's my thing.
Chick-fil-A is
Yeah.
definitely
Give me a McChicken.
Oh,
Give me McChicken.
right.
Extra lettuce, extra mayo.
Oh,
yeah.
This be your boy.
Just because I feel like I couldn't do a fast food restaurant. Like, again, it's stupid to think this way. But at the end of the day, when I eat fast food, I like fast food that doesn't make me feel like I'm eating fast food. You know what I mean? Like, when I go to like Checkers or Burger King or McDonald's, I feel dirty. Yeah. You know, I just feel like I'm doing like Taco Bell, White Castle. Like, I just feel like
especially
I'm doing
White Castle.
something
That's disgusting.
Doing in my body.
White Castle.
No, White Castle
is foul. That's just disgusting.
Yes, anybody that's foul. No,
just
no. It's not even edible. It's not even edible. I haven't had White Castle since 8th grade. But regardless, when I go to places like Chick-fil-A and stuff like that, it makes me feel like I'm eating food that's decent that just happens to have a drive-thru. You feel me? It makes me feel better. It's a mental thing. I know at the end of the day it's not healthy, but it makes me feel better, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Sometimes it's all about how you feel about it. You feel me?
TKD too. Shout out to your socials, brother.
All right, subscribe to the YouTube channel at TKD2 Gaming. Follow Twitter, never the X, at _TKD2 Gaming. Also, Instagram, my bad. _TKD2 Gaming. But all seriousness though, George, I heard you play 2K. We might have to get on the game, but I don't play 2K. That's more DearCeej. I play FIFA. Okay. But we gonna.
You tear me up at FIFA.
Well, that's anybody. That's anybody. Like. No, sir.
You can't even give dudes confidence nowadays.
He's bad at that.
That's why people.
He's bad at that.
I'm honest, man.
I'm honest. He's bad at that, man. He's bad.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, no type of grace, bro.
This is his last episode on the podcast for the rest of his career.
We out here eating Burger King.
Oh my God!
I know. We've been trying to tell
you. But don't you worry though. When I win, you'll eat it too.
LeBrankston, shout out to social, brother.
Yeah, man, it's your boy LeBrankston. Make sure to go follow the YouTube channel at LeBrankston, the Twitter, the Instagram, the TikTok, all at LeBrankston. My other Instagram, LeBrankston Gaming. Go check that out. We also got a voicemail number if you guys just want to call. Leave us a beautiful message. You'll hear my beautiful voice at the end of the long dial tone. Just wait for it. Leave a beautiful message. Talk about who your favorite co-host is. What questions you got for us. That's the biggest thing, man. Leave us some questions, whether that's through the voicemail number, the social media, through all of us. Leave us some questions. We'll start answering them on the show. That voicemail number is 859-363-5365. Again, 859-363-5365.
Yes, sir. And you can follow me at Dear Michael, DearMykel for my fashion page. And then obviously make sure you follow us at Dear Radio Show for all of our endeavors with the but the podcasting and everything we got collectively going on. So make sure you like, subscribe by YouTube, continue to follow my guys, and continue to support. Ceej, take us away, brother.
It's your boy, man, DearCeej, man. You can follow me on everywhere at DearCeej, from TikTok to IG to Twitter, not the X like my boy TKD2 say. I don't do Facebook. My mama on there, she be commenting and doing all that extra stuff. I can't do that. Snapchat, I can't do the Snapchat.
Got in trouble.
TKD say I always get in trouble, but hey, Snapchat is a no-go for me. But it's been well, man, having you, George, man. You've been a great guest, man, for sure. And it's your boys, man. We out.